Hello, it is G, I am back. I'm completely losing track of whether I've changed my hair colour again or not, so I don't think so. But anyway, you can probably tell that I've got a bit of a new space around me. I'm currently settling into my third year house, so what better time to give you some of my top tips for how to settle in at university. Okay, first of all, number one is just get out and do things. No matter what kind of person you are, being locked up in your house all day is gonna feel a bit naff. It's going to be a lot harder to settle in if you don't get out there and kind of just go out with your mates. Definitely do not need to go out and be drinking or doing something absolutely crazy or joining 100 societies to be getting out there and doing things. Sometimes it's just asking one flatmate if they want to go for coffee. Number two, this is gonna sound really mean, but try and sever your links with your family a little bit. So I'm definitely not saying that you should lose all contact with them, but it's going to be a lot easier for you to think of your university as home if you are not constantly in contact with your original home. Maybe keeping it to ringing home just once a week, and try as much as you can not to go back home for most of the first semester. This can be really hard for some people, but really try to avoid that as it makes it a lot harder to settle in if you're constantly going home. Number three is to make your home your home. Moving into halls especially can be really daunting because you walk into this big empty room and it looks really not you. So one of the quickest ways to get settled in is to make your space your space. So you can definitely see behind me that I do that here. It's going to make your room feel a lot more like a safer space for you. So number four is sort of finding ways to do what you love in your new space. So the chances are you have a lot of hobbies back home and then you get to uni and you're wondering how you can do those hobbies here. So a good way to get settled in is try and work out how you can do those things. So if you're part of, say, a gymnastics club at home, look at local gymnastics clubs. For me personally, I go to a lot of conventions, as you can probably guess. So one of the first things I did was look up the connections to the conventions that I love and how easy it is to get there. And I also looked at shops in town that could possibly help me get my cosplay stuff. And my fifth and final tip, which isn't so crucial but is something that can sometimes really help, is to get settled into a routine. I'm horrendous at this, so I don't really know why I'm giving this tip, but it's good to get into a routine where you wake up at a certain time, you eat food at a certain time, and you go to bed at a certain time. It sounds really boring, but it just helps you feel safer and it makes you feel a lot more comfortable in the situation that you're in. So those were my top 5 tips for settling in at university. I really hope they were useful and I will see you next time.